All right. I am up. Hey, everybody. Just making sure that my connection is good and that my sound is good. It looks like everything is well. I am having a little bit more out of nature here because I am not in my typical YouTube studio or actually in my office, which has been my typical green screen that you guys have seen the past few lives and what you typically see in my CPTV episodes. So I am actually at my home away from home. And I am here because I had a bunch of meetings taking place over the course of a couple of days. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense for me to drive back and forth all the time. And I really needed an opportunity to take a bit of a break and sit without interruption and focus on creating content, creating products and services, mapping things out, create. So we're going to wait a couple seconds for that. But while we're doing that, for those of you who are in now, I just wanted to say welcome to CPTV. We have a live episode today, which I am really excited about. I'm of these lives. So let me know what you think down in the comments if you like the lives or if you'd like me to do at least once a month of a live. I've been doing lives for the past 5 weeks consistently, replacing Facts Friday. But if you love Facts Friday, don't worry. Next week, Friday, we'll be back to our normal Facts Friday and happy hour. So hopefully the light looks really good. I've never really had to use window light and kind of make makeshift lights because my home away from home isn't really some of the work that I've been doing behind me. And I think that if you guys have watched my previous episode, I think it's a CPTV episode, which I will link to here in the cards about creating your growth strategy, a process that I go through on an annual basis. I see people are in here. Please let me know if you're here. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay when you get in, just so that I can get some feedback and know, because again, I am not in my typical environment. Want to make sure that we have some success here today. But in any case, if you've seen that video, you definitely know what I'm talking about and why I've got things written around. And so, as I said, I'm at my home away from home because I've got tons of meetings over the course of like every other day, instead of driving back and forth, which I do sometimes. I do drive back and forth sometimes because I have a lot of clients in my hometown. But I thought, I need some time in between to really regroup, focus on my business, and kind of take a look at where we are since we're coming to the end of a quarter and kind of putting together the strategies for second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. And so I think I mentioned to you guys in that CPTV episode where I was specifically talking about developing your growth strategy, and then my retreat, my presidential retreat that I take when I'm doing those. So this is kind of like a mini one. I think I mentioned to you at that time that I was thinking about doing multiple ones. And so I'm just testing it out a little bit and seeing if I can shorten them up instead of doing one huge long one once a year, twice a year. I'm kind of taking advantage of some of those opportunities in between. So that's what I'm here doing. And I wanted to make sure that I could jump on live today because, as promised, the last couple of weeks, and to those of you who have been in my DMs, been in my inboxes, even on my phone, texting me, asking questions over the last few months, I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about something that I think we all as entrepreneurs face from time to time in our worlds and in our lives. And if you are a newer entrepreneur and you're just starting out, you're facing it as well, coming up with the structure and where you're going to go with your business. And so I wanted to talk and share with you guys a little bit more about my journey, what I have been doing, what I am doing, answer those questions, kind of shut down the rumor mill, because it's funny when I hear different things. I'm like, no. So I figured I might as well address it myself directly. And I wanted to talk to you guys about what that journey looks like, why I've done what I've done, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, because I think that there are some golden nuggets and some lessons in there. And I'm very, very nervous about doing this actually, because I know that sometimes, people assume that because I enjoy public speaking and I love being in front of people and things like that, that it kind of comes natural to me to kind of share my deepest, darkest secrets. And it does not come natural to me. I'm a Scorpio through and through. I don't know how many of you guys are out there into horoscopes or know what's up with those, but I am. And I'm telling you, if you read the textbook definition of what a Scorpio is, it is me. And I don't really go that deep with folks. I mean, it takes a lot for me to be in a space where I can trust enough to be vulnerable. And so this is a very big step for me. So as much love and as much encouragement as you can give it to me today during this video. And even after, if you're watching the replay, please let me know, because the love is going to help me make it through. So, but if you're just now visiting here for the first time and you're checking out this video, I want to welcome you to CPTV. This is the place for aspiring entrepreneurs and current entrepreneurs who want to grow their passions into businesses and their businesses into freedom and taking it to that next level. This is where you're going to get the tips and the tools, the strategies, the blueprints in order to make your entrepreneurial dreams a reality. And I give it to you just as I've learned it over 20 years of being in business, growing 6 and 7 figure businesses. I'm just taking you through my lessons, my learning experiences, and really the tips and tools that have helped me be successful in growing my businesses and in growing my teams. And so I focus a lot on processes and strategies and step by step. That is what we do. I like to make sure that I'm giving you the real, true, actionable items that you can use to grow your business, and sprinkle a little bit of CP love in there. So welcome to CPTV. If that sounds good to you, make sure that you subscribe before you head out. That you like, that you give me some feedback and some comments. I love hearing about your journeys, hearing about what you're looking for, what you'd like to do. And most importantly, I really love when someone jumps in my inbox and with a real true practical scenario that they're going through in their business as an entrepreneur. And I remember feeling that way. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you trusting me in my opinion and, my little tidbits of knowledge that I'm hoping bring you value. So I want to go ahead and dive in as I've got, I think, a couple people on, and I'm trying a new time on Friday because I want to stick to Fridays, but y'all know how I feel about happy hour, right? So I was like, Friday night is just not going to work for me. So I'm trying noon. I know that I work with a lot of folks who are in the side hustle phase or even just out there hustling and growing their businesses. And so daytime might not be a great time. So I'm just trying something different to see how it goes. But I do feel very, very confident that you will get some content and get some value out of what we're going to talk about today. And I can also answer your questions. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's dive right in, because I want to just really address 3 primary questions that I've been getting about my businesses and what's going on with me and what I'm doing and am I doing it differently. So if you haven't noticed, over the last 5 months, I have been changing it up a bit. Just a little bit, but significantly enough for it to apparently cause a bit of alarm, or I should say curiosity. So I am focusing today on kind of answering those questions, because I've been getting a ton of them. Questions like, and I actually wrote them down. What happened to BIG, or Benefit Innovations Group, which is one of my companies, and I'm going to talk about that. What are you doing now? Is everything okay with your business? Is everything okay with you? Are you getting enough rest? And what's going on in that head of yours? Those are kind of the gist of the questions that I've been getting. So I'd like to take this opportunity to share. And I wasn't really going to do another live. That wasn't my plan. But I decided this is a warranted live. What better way to answer those questions than directly from me to you in a live way and allow you to ask any questions that you have for me in a live fashion. And I see quite a few of you who have logged in and said hello. So, hey there, how are you? Hi, everybody. And if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them in. I will grab them and try to stay focused on both talking directly to you and also seeing my live chat going on. I don't have anybody helping me moderate today. I don't have any of my team here with me. It's just you and I, really kind of breaking it down. So I think why I wanted to do a live as well is because I think it's an amazing business lesson. And I know so many entrepreneurs have been in the same space, need to do the same things that I've been working on and doing in their entrepreneurial journeys. Or if you're a brand new business and you haven't gotten to that point yet or to this point yet, it's probably going to be something that you will need to do. And I want to make sure that you always have an opportunity to come back, take a look at this video and take away any of the lessons that I'm going to share with you that I've learned. So let's get down to question number one, right? BIG, or Benefit Innovations Group. The question specifically was, what happened to BIG? Well, Big HR, Benefit Innovations Group, BIG, whichever name you want to refer to it as, depending upon what stage you kind of became a client or a friend or a follower of mine. BIG HR is alive and well. It is doing amazing. Here's what's going on. So the reason why there are three names, right? Let me just describe to you. I've always had my own business. Back when I finished graduate school, I actually lived overseas in Kenya for a while, and I was doing consulting work with NGOs or NGOs overseas or nonprofit organizations. And my role in my function really help them build their organizational capacity, get themselves up and running and started. Creating the infrastructure is my focus and was my focus so that they could ultimately put things together to request money. And I did that and I loved it. And that was really where I got the bug of what I feel is my true purpose: creating organizational and business infrastructures and processes and systems. And the basic foundations in order for organizations to get to the very next level, whichever level they're currently at in their business journey. My strength, my skill, my God-given talent is to be able to map out a game plan of exactly what you need to do in order to get your business started, growing to that next level. It's just the way that my brain works. And so that was my very first business. And I did that business overseas. When I came back home, I was convinced, because of the way that I was raised, that I was supposed to go work in corporate America and do work for other people. But I also thought it would be a great opportunity for me to gain some corporate experience and to continue to develop that skill set of working with people and interacting with people and learning things that only practical real world experience can teach you. So I actually continue to do that business. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm just checking for questions that are coming in on the feed a little bit. So I did that business for a long time, and I didn't really stop doing that business. Even after I got back home, back into the country, began to move forward with my personal life, I always had clients that were a part of my side gig, my side journey. And so I continued to do that side journey forever. I never stopped. And that kind of answers the next question, like, what am I doing? Is it something new? No, it's not new. I've always done it. And I'll get more into that in a little bit. But when I came back home, I worked in corporate America for a few years. And then I decided to start my first business, and my first official business. And my first official business was an insurance agency. A lot of you are aware of my insurance agency. I grew my business at that point over the course of 10 years from just myself as a solopreneur. And at various times, we actually had, between 50 and 60 agents working on my team. And we focused on group benefits, working with employer groups and business owners on helping them create and institute fabulous, powerful benefit packages within their organizations in order to help motivate their team, provide their team with benefits and perks, and to get them to the next level. So when you think about it, my focus even then was to provide support to business owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs who were trying to get their businesses to the next level. And so I did that through insurance products because healthcare was huge. There was a huge need out there for small businesses in order for them to be able to have access to affordable healthcare costs and healthcare plans to provide their employees, because that's the reason why, right? You do it to uplift and to motivate and to drive strength in your organization through your team. So really did, grow that business, marketed that business in different ways, had a very strong presence, did millions and millions of dollars worth of revenue and sales in particular product lines surrounding ancillary products. And because I chose to market my business and brand my business after one of my primary carriers, everyone thought that I worked for that company. But I never worked for that company. It was always my own insurance agency. I just branded it because honestly, it was easier. They had already established this amazing brand and it was just easier for me to use that. And so I never really had to develop my own business branding or marketing or anything like that, because I just said, what's going to be the easiest way? We're growing too fast. Let me just hold on to that. And that's what I did. But it's funny how things work. The universe, I guess, had something different in plan and planned for me. And the government came out with some new laws that were really impacting my revenue in the organization and really did change not just the revenue, but also the needs that existed in my market. While we were working with clients, we were getting so much feedback and input from our ideal customer saying that they didn't just need me to help them with their benefit packages. They needed me to help them with so many other things related to their teams and human resources. They needed more. And I was like, well, what can I give them more? And took a lot of time to really think about it and recognize, yes, I could give them more. And so began to expand out and kind of pivot and redirect the products and services that we were providing. So that was the first time that I really had to take a look at my business after 10 years of it just going ham and growing and growing and growing. I mean, we were like a well-oiled machine. We were just flowing. I was recruiting. It was crazy. I had to really say, what else can we bring to the market? Because it wasn't just about my numbers and making that change. It was about the impact, because that's always been a driving force for me. That's my why. And I know I talk to you guys all the time about knowing your why and how that why is critical in you being able to succeed in business. And I only speak to you about that from my own personal experiences and telling you that if you cannot fall back on your why, there will be times that will come about in your business and in your life that you won't know what to do. And that why is going to be where you go first. And so you have times that will come about in your business and in your life that you won't know what to do. And that why is going to be where you go first. And so you are able to accept change and to realize it's there and to make the necessary adjustments in order to keep going forward and keep moving through. And that's what I said I had to do. And that's really what I needed to do. And so I created a division within that original insurance agency that was really focused on testing the market for a new line of products and services. That new testing division was in place for about 9 months before I recognized that it was a huge need and it was an amazing opportunity to not only make up for the revenue loss that existed in my business and that was becoming because of the Affordable Care Act and the changes that the government were making with direct relationship to my product line, but it was driving revenue at a ridiculous rate and I was having more impact. And so I used that 9 months to really test it and map it out and figure out what was working and what was needed, and began to roll out that division, and ultimately decided to create Benefit Innovations Group from that division that was being tested. And slowly but surely it began to expand out into more markets with relationship to benefits and offering services with relationship to compliance and HR, and slowly began to add other HR functions and features as we mapped out what those products and services were. We figured out the perfect pricing strategies, and we saw that it was working and that people needed it and that we were growing by leaps and bounds and we were attracting clients and we were serving their needs and we were having impact. And as every business, we kind of had to take some steps back and put things in place. My original company ended up selling some stuff to Big Benefit Innovations Group, took on a couple partners and really began moving forward. And so that started about our division became its own entity. I want to say now about 5 or 6 years ago, and slowly but surely some branding changes have taken place because we did move more out of benefits only into general HR services, consulting and coaching services, until HR consulting and services became everything. And that is where we are currently branded as Big HR. So I want to be clear with what that story is. Big HR exists. It is doing great, but we have hit what I would consider to be a bit of a wall. And that wall created what I'm getting ready to talk to you about. And it created it because of what I've learned about coaching and consulting businesses, specifically as it relates to my experiences. So, but before I get into that, I just want to answer the second question. What am I doing now? And is it different than what I've always been doing? And I'm going to answer that question. I am doing what I've always been doing. I'm just marketing it now. And the reason why I'm marketing it now is because I've learned how to effectively market in 2020. Before I was, like I mentioned, I started the story out with my very first business that was a consulting business focused on growing organizations. I've always done that. I just only did it through word of mouth. I never marketed it. I only took on very specific clients. I didn't, put it out there because I really, if someone came to me and they were referred to me from a friend or a client, I would contemplate very, very hard if I could take them on and actually help them. And I was very, very specific about the type of client that I would work with directly. And so that's what I did forever. I've not stopped doing that since 1997. I have been doing that. So this is not new. I just did make the decision a couple years ago after doing something very similar as I did with Big HR, testing out a few things and recognizing that I wanted to work more in my purpose, my complete purpose. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But my primary areas of expertise have always been and will always be what I focus on from a business and a service perspective. Setting up business processes and infrastructures is my thing. Selling and servicing is my thing. And then growing and developing teams is my thing. So no, nothing new. You're just hearing about it differently because I have learned how to be a better marketer. I have learned how to be a more impactful entrepreneur and coach and consultant. I have learned that if I really truly say that I want to have impact and see entrepreneurs grow, that I needed to talk about it and put it out there. And so that's what I've done. Why? Because getting back to the wall. So with one-on-one consulting and coaching, which is what I have always done, whether it's focusing on HR and growing teams, or whether it's focused on entrepreneurship and growing businesses and organizations, and nonprofit organizations. And I began to hit that capacity ceiling. I literally could not take on any more clients functioning in the business model that I was functioning in for so many years. I could not take on any more clients. I see you guys still coming in. Say hi. Let me know you're here. Let me know you can hear me and see me okay. I could not take on any more one-on-one clients without significantly increasing my overhead and my operational costs. And I needed to innovate in order to continue to grow. So was I doing well? Am I doing well? Absolutely. Do I want to do more and do I want to do better? Yes, always. I'm not even close to done in this life. So yes. And I knew in order to do that, I needed to innovate. I needed to make some changes. I needed to take a real deep look at what my current business model was, how it was working, whether or not it was working, and make some necessary changes. And I'm telling you, I struggled mentally. I was scared. I was terrified. I didn't want to make the wrong decision because, we were in the high six-figure range from a revenue perspective. And I thought, if I make changes, am I going to screw this up? Oh my God, I have a whole team of people depending on me. I mean, I was absolutely stressed out about it. And this didn't just start 5 months ago, guys. This was actually in 2017 when I really started thinking about this and when I really felt the wall. And I think I felt the wall during that time as well, because I was dealing with my own personal journey through cancer. And I went through, a lot of you may or may not know that. So I did. I am a cancer survivor. It was a very stressful year. It was ridiculously crazy. And I was reflecting overload all the time. And that included my businesses and my future and my lifestyle and what I was missing and what I wanted to provide for my children. And all of those things impacted what I was about to embark upon. So let me walk you through my steps, because I'm about to break it down step by step, right? I needed to transition my business. I needed to make some changes in order to get to the next level. I needed to be better in order for it to be a better fit for greater global impact. And what I had determined through my journey of cancer was going to be my lifestyle. I was always, and have always been, as an entrepreneur, a workaholic. It's my nature. Even when I was little and in school and going through stuff, I was a workaholic. I would just work, work, work until I got it done. And I was very, very blessed to have the relationship that I have with my husband, because he has been amazing in actually helping me be a workaholic and still enjoy my family. And I don't know if I tell him thank you enough. So if you are watching, honey, I think you might be. Thank you, because you have personally enabled me to be a workaholic. But no offense, cancer motivated me to recognize that I did not want to be in that space for the rest of my life. I did not and do not and will not be in that space for the rest of my life. And so I needed to figure out a strategy to work smarter and not harder. And that is what I am sharing with you guys today. So that's why I started out with what. So let's get into how, because hopefully you will recognize my steps and how I've gone through things and what I'm still going through. And you'll be able to take some of these things and apply it if you are feeling the exact same things that I just described to you. A bit stuck, very scared, not sure how to get to that next level, not sure if you should take it to a next level or leave it alone, wanting in your future to not necessarily be in the same place, and to ultimately grow your business to fit the life that you dream of. If that sounds like you, then here's my steps, and you might want to jot them down. So 2017, hi, love you too. He is watching. So 2017, I took my growth strategy retreat, as I always do. And again, if you haven't seen that video, I'll link to it below. I'll have my team make sure that they stick those links in the description for me. And so that you can catch that, because I walk you through what that growth strategy retreat looks like. But when I took that retreat, my focus was to identify and to tweak the business model, to figure out everything that I needed to figure out, to see what was working, what wasn't working, what the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats were, and what I could do or come up with or create or innovate in order to achieve the ultimate goal of working smarter, not harder, and having greater impact at the same time. So I took my growth retreat, and I decided from that experience that I needed to focus on 3 specific areas in my business. The first was improving my processes and my efficiencies within my team and within my business. That was the first. The second was to create a new marketing strategy that did not need face-to-face or personal constant contact. And the third was to begin to educate myself on exactly what is available out there on how to do that. And so those were my key strategies on that growth strategy retreat. So I did. I began to map it all out. Then after I went on my retreat and figured out that I needed to improve my processes, create a new marketing strategy, I began to dive into being completely obsessed with learning everything there was to learn, because I knew how to grow teams. I know how to create infrastructure. I knew that I needed to do better process documentation, but I couldn't figure out at the time how to make all of those things better, because my businesses have always been brick and mortar. They have always been run by people, driven by people, involving people. And so I felt like we were at the most efficient point that we could be at for a small organization. I've even had clients tell me, "You run your business and you've got processes that would kill any Fortune 500 company as far as procedures and processes and automation is concerned." So I really wasn't sure what else is best out there for me. And I began to dive into the world of digital marketing. And oh my God, guys, it was crazy. My brain lit up because I realized, oh my God, I'm missing an entire area that can solve all of this and that can really help me meet those goals. And so diving into digital marketing led me down the path of developing online products and services, automating my business more, and really being able to walk in my true purpose for true satisfaction. And I almost cried when I found it, because I realized there is a path. And what I needed to do, while I loved my clients and I still love my clients and I love the brick and mortar side of my businesses, I really needed to develop a strategy to build out an online division and an online portion of my business in order to gain more reach, to serve more people, to automate more things, and to really allow the technology that exists out there to make my organization more efficient and more effective, and I could work smarter and not harder. It was mind-blowing. So that is what I began embarking upon in early 2018. We developed a crazy content marketing strategy. We began pushing out content, learning what that meant, developing true new customer avatars, diving in as a team. My team thought I was absolutely crazy, that I was all over the place. They probably still do a lot, and that's okay, guys. It's all right. I got you. We getting there. And digital marketing has changed the game for me. So I want to share some of the results that we have experienced since we began implementing this market, that I never really experienced before in my entrepreneurial journey, because I have been in business for myself since the 90s, and technology didn't exist the same in the 90s. So I was down old school marketing, brick and mortar. You get a list, you hire a bunch of salespeople, you tell them to go knock on doors, you have them make cold calls, you train them on how to have high conversion rates. You do all of those things because that's how you sell. And that's how I sold millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff my entire career. But I realized through this learning and diving into the online world, the digital world, that, oh my God, I could sell millions and millions more and not have to do it face to face. There's other ways to get it done. So I developed a complete content marketing strategy, began to dive into learning everything there is to learn about online marketing, digital marketing, social media marketing, video, blogs, audio, podcasts, everything, and devised the plan. The results of those is what you have begun seeing, which is why you probably think things are changing drastically. But what I've been launching that is new over the last 5 or 6 months is our online division. It's the same thing I did when I was transitioning my insurance agency into just all general HR consulting and coaching, because I needed to test for a while before I was comfortable rolling it out. And I recommend to all of my business coaching clients, you've got to test what you're thinking about before you completely roll it out. And so that's what we have been doing. We tested it behind the scenes in 2018, did some tweaking, had a lot of failures, a lot of long nights, a lot of funny stories. And finally, as I continue to learn and test and play, found that I could drive, and here are some of the results I'm diving into. We could drive an increase in conversion rates for potential prospects and clients. Our old conversion rates, I used to be happy with if we met with a client face to face and we would do let's say a proposal meeting with that client, because they typically started out as a cold client completely. If we had a 30 to 40% conversion rate from doing a proposal to actually to revenue, I would say you were doing great, rock star. My top sales reps were at like between 40 and 50%. When we began embarking on digital marketing and providing value and attracting the right client and knowing who our customer really was, our conversion rates now are closer to 70%. And I'm not knocking on doors. I'm not making cold calls. I don't necessarily need 65 salespeople to grow. So it's causing my organization to be leaner, which is so amazing, because that will allow me to begin to work smarter and not harder, and actually begin to enjoy the lifestyle of travel, of being with my children, of being with my grandchildren, that I want. I do not want to be that workaholic mom that in her grave is someone saying, oh, she provided for us well. We had a great life, but damn, I wish I would have seen her more, So I am so pumped about these results. Also, the impact is beyond just my local area. I've got clients that we're working with all over the country, and I would never have been able to really conceptualize without opening up offices in various locations, how to do that. And so we've also begun looking at every single process that we have internally that now requires people, and looking at what we can automate through technology and what types of technology tools and resources exist out there, and how we can actually deliver products and services real time to our clients when it's convenient for them and when they have access to it, and when they want to access to it. If you're a night owl and you want to start learning at 2, we got something for you. If you want face-to-face, one-on-one coaching and consulting, we've got something for you. So we've been building out that product ladder, that value ladder, to attract all kinds of our ideal customers, and being able to provide them with a product or service that is ultimately going to serve them. And the feedback that I get from people talking about the transformation and how they're feeling about their businesses it just keeps me motivated. It helps me feel that why. It gives me that drive to keep going. So the results, our conversion rates on sales have increased. The amount of lives that we've been able to touch have increased. My time has increased. And I mean, I need that, because I am in between taking care of my parents and my children, and my life requires me to need that time. And so I am still working really hard, because we're still building things out. We're still testing things. We're still creating the funnels and the sales pages and the online presence and store, and constantly adding to it. So I am working a lot, but I've learned that when you incorporate digital online products and services, digital marketing, narrowing down your niche, Everything that I've learned over the past few years and ultimately helping me accomplish those goals, I've learned that in this world, which is really the future of business, you can touch it once and sell it over and over and over and over again. And that is amazing. That gets me so excited. So that's what I've learned so far. And I will definitely keep you guys abreast. And before I open it up and take some of the questions that I see over here on the side, and remember, guys, now's the time to go ahead and throw your questions in if you have them. I want to talk a little bit about the last question that I got. The last question that I got. And let me go back to the questions. So is everything okay with your business and with you, CP? So I want to talk about that. All right. Yes, everything is great. It's even better than it's ever been before. I've always loved my businesses. I've always loved what I've done. But I can tell you, as I shared with you through my own health crises and journey, I was evaluating since cancer, am I truly walking in my purpose? And I came to realize that I was really holding back a lot and only reserving certain aspects of my skills and talents for a very small population of people. The people who, I was being very particular and picky about who I would actually do business coaching with or consulting work with. If they weren't HR focused, where I could have my team working with them, I was very particular. I was being very selfish. And I felt like I was being that way. I was not walking in my complete purpose. And I knew that I should be. I knew that I could. And I knew that as I continued to discover these amazing online and digital marketing products, service, and opportunities that were freeing up time, automating things, making things feel better, making things work faster, driving leads in a different way, and driving customers and prospects and helping me make sales in a different way, I realized you do have more time to walk in your purpose and to help more people. So I really didn't have an excuse anymore, because for so many years, I never told anybody that I did business coaching. Every once in a while, somebody would reach out to me and call me, and I'd say, sure, let me evaluate whether or not I could work with you. And then I'd work with them maybe or not and say, I just didn't have time at the time to do it. And, I didn't feel like I was supposed to be doing it because I was already working a lot and, not having a whole lot of time. And I believe that this realization of being able to grow my big HR business and what I learned through that process was also intended to open my world up to understanding how to free up that time so that I could serve more people and truly walk in my complete purpose. Because big HR and what we do in that company is growing businesses and helping people develop and grow their revenue and get to that lifestyle and that freedom as an entrepreneur that you want through the growth and development of your team. That's only one aspect of what I know works. It's a huge aspect, but it's only one aspect. The other piece of Cheryl is all the other stuff that ties that entire business together. I'm good at that. That is what I do. And that is also where I transform people's lives and have impact. So I was doing a disservice to myself, but also to the world by being particular and keeping it a secret and being all hush hush and saying and convincing myself that I could only do it if I had more time. So God and the universe do what they do. They said, all right, I'm going to show you how to have more time. I'm going to give you more time, girl. Now let me hear what you got to say. And it did. It opened up my eyes to the ability to really completely live in that purpose. I did not feel good when I would turn people away. I did not feel good when I would tell my friends or my family that I didn't have time to help them become entrepreneurs or grow in their entrepreneurial journey, because I do know how to do that. And I did know how to do that. I do that well. And so to tell people that made me feel bad about truly being a good person and who I'm supposed to be. So I am happier than I've ever been. I'm excited. This whole me being the personal brand and this whole marketing strategy that you guys have been seeing is new for me. This whole YouTube channel is new for me. I love public speaking. I always have, but being vulnerable, being personal, sharing through my own story and hoping that my story will help others is new to me. So I would love for you to tell me if I'm doing a good job or not doing a good job. Um, but walking in my purpose is giving me that true satisfaction, because I know as a business owner and as an entrepreneur that you don't just worry or lose sleep as an owner over pieces of your business. It's everything in your business. And if I can help people work through that everything, then that's what I'm going to do. So that's what's going on, guys. I'm fine. I'm doing great. We are growing. It's actually getting better. You will see a lot more marketing. You will see this whole social media thing. I never really understood what it meant to use it before. I didn't do a good job at it before. I've learned and am still learning every single day, and am seeing the results and am loving it. I'm actually looking at expanding my team. So if you know anybody, I'm looking for some project management, social media, email, marketing. I've got a couple of interviews. So I'm actually expanding in that realm. So if you know anybody, let me know and tell them to reach out. But that's it. That's the real deal. That's what's up. I'm excited. And I promise you that as I continue to go through this journey, I will take you with me. I will share with you everything that I am learning, everything that is working, everything that is not working. And everything that I am able to do with my one-on-one coaching clients, and share with them, I hope to be able to bring to you in the masses as well. So I appreciate it. And now I'm going to, any questions that you guys have that I haven't answered, please let me know. But it seems like I've answered a lot of the ones that have popped up or are coming in. And that's it. That's why I changed my business model. That's why people change their business model. And I shouldn't say change, I should say expand, because my business model that we've always had, one-on-one, face-to-face consulting services, still exists. It's still designed for a very particular audience and customer avatar, but we needed to develop and grow in the other areas as well. And I didn't do that initially, and realized through life and through experience that I needed to do that. And that's what I've been embarking upon, guys. It's a little bit of rocket science, I should say, because man, I'm old. Older than this digital marketing world is typically from an age range perspective. And I am learning so much. I am loving it. God, I wish I had learned about it years ago, because it would just be, I would probably already be owning that island in Tahiti that I'm going to own. I've had to actually push back by 5 years because of my delay in learning about this wonderful new world. Those of you out there who know, I'm going to own an island and a resort in Tahiti. So I know I've said that for a long time. Or I may have just said an island and didn't tell you the exact location, but now I've determined it's going to be Tahiti. I've done some research on that. Value, pricing, everything is amazing out there, and the weather. But anyway, so any questions? And I want to give some shout outs. Ask Another Natural. Love you, girl. Love you so much for being here. Appreciate it. You are on every single live. You are ride or die. I hope that you have gotten some great value. And miss ya. And let me know if you need anything. You got my direct connect, so make sure you do that. And then also my team, who seems to be on and chiming in. Hi, guys. So if there's any other questions, I'll give you a couple more seconds to get them in. Let me check here to see if I've got any questions. No, I think I've answered. The number one lesson The number one lesson, what is the number one lesson that you have taken away from what you have experienced and learned? I'm sorry, don't know why the light's doing that, guys. Sorry about that. The number one lesson I think is always be learning. Always be learning. If you dedicate yourself as an entrepreneur to the solutions are and begin to educate yourself on what are the opportunities that exist out there, as long as you're learning, you will never die. As a business owner, as long as you are learning, you will never die. So that's one of the main things that I've learned, that because of my crazy psycho belief in constantly learning new things, I've been able to create and grow this online business. So that's the number one thing. Got a question. Can I speak about what has been the hardest part of entering digital marketing? Wow, that's a good one. The hardest part. It's probably driven. There's things that I focus on now, which are like sales funnels and marketing funnels. And to being able to understand the sales and marketing funnels in the way that I've always understood having sales people and marketing people, because I was always brick and mortar and I always had people to fill those roles. And taking that mindset of what I wanted to see in my people that were doing sales and doing marketing, and transitioning and taking that thought into technology being the substitute for those people. That's probably been the hardest part. So because now I know what to look for in technology tools and what they need to be able to do from start to finish in those marketing funnels and in those sales funnels, and the technology to house the online products, to create the online products, to make that customer experience with the online products, to mapping them out, to creating online courses, to adding online and digital lessons and experiences to my coaching programs, which have changed because those of you out there who are watching that are my one-on-one coaching clients, you know that we have a coaching session, and then afterwards I just give you a ton of online trainings and video and worksheets to work through, and being able to incorporate those into my one-on-one coaching relationships and building those into what I've always done. So the technology and understanding it as it relates to what I'm used to in business has probably been one of the hardest things, because I am not a techie person. I could get pretty dangerous if I go into a system and I play with it a while, but I don't always have the time to play. And some of the technology is really, really new. So that's probably been one of the hardest things, as well as really, truly understanding the value and the benefit, and the analytics and the numbers in social media utilization. Social media is a huge part of the entire digital marketing world. I didn't even know that there were algorithms that existed on all the platforms that did certain things and don't do certain things. And being able to navigate through those algorithms, the constant change, and the time, and realizing that my team needs to change with the business and needs to grow with the business. And so now I need people on my team who are experts in the digital marketing and online space. And so understanding all of those little things that kind of go along with this new world, this new exciting world for me, has probably been the hardest stuff to deal with. And of course, making these videos for you guys. It's been pretty hard too. So hopefully that answered your question. Any other questions we got out there? We're coming to close to the end here. I wanted to definitely keep it under an hour, right about an hour, to make myself available. Hopefully you guys got the answers that you needed. Hopefully you've gotten some inspiration from this. Hopefully you're feeling like you're not alone. And some things I learned about doing a live at my home away from home is that a window does great lighting. And make sure that your internet connection is good to go, and make sure you got some headphones, because my laptop doesn't have the same sound as when I'm in my main studio. So But I have appreciated you guys joining me today. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to give me and leave me some comments and feedback. As always, if you need anything, you know where to find me. I am about to sign off now so that I can get back to work and get to finishing my plan and mapping out some more funnels and working on some content for you guys. And don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend. And I will catch you guys and see you guys on Tuesday and next Friday in our regular episodes of CPTV. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Mwah! Bye, loves.